This is Phoenix Genesis for PhoenixGenesis.com and our two YouTube channels, Phoenix Genesis and Frag Camp. Now, a lot of people want to go ultralight, and they wonder if they could do a hammock or do a tent, and they wonder which system is lighter. And I'm going to show you two systems that weigh the same, and actually they're both so ultralight that if you're a really nice, strong, young, strapping man, you could actually carry both and have your cake and eat it too. Each of these weigh 1 pound, about 7¼ ounces, give or take. The way I have it set up, including the packaging, the rubber bands that I added on, and I'll show you what, I did with this. And if I would take the hammock setup, I would keep it in this bag because it's just easy to grab it, and I know everything hammock related is in this one bag. So, again, you could cut weight by cutting straps, not taking the bags, but I'm just saying the way I take it, it's 1 pound, about 7 ounces each. Now, if you were to go, and I'm just going to show you this real quick. Let's grab the scale right here. Hopefully you can see this, and this afternoon light's kind of glaring. Let's zero this out. If I were to add this sling bag here, that's going to add another like 5½ ounces to my hammock setup, and then I'm going to add these utility extension straps. That's going to be another 9½ ounces. So ultimately, if you were going to go this way, the hammock setup would be a little bit heavier, but we are not going to do that. We're just going to stick with here, and I'm going to show you this just so those people don't believe me. See, this is coming in 1 pound, 7¼ just like I said. And let's throw this kit and caboodle on here, and we come to, if you can see that, 1 pound and 7�3/8 ounces. So like I said, they're about the same. Now, it's very important to note, before I go into what I'm bringing here, is with the setups that I have here, I have a very modular system. That's why I'm saying for an extra 1 pound, 7 ounces, I could throw in the tent if I really, really felt I was in some extreme conditions, and sometimes I wouldn't be able to hang, and there were bad conditions of intense, like hypothermic conditions with hail and severe rain or nonstop, snow and blizzard, something where I really felt that I needed that extra protection of a tent. I could throw that in, because if you use the same system, if you don't go with an underquilt and an overquilt, and you have just an overquilt for both, you're going to use it for the tent as well. So tarp, the ground cloth, just to get out of the hammock, and also to get put under the tent, same ground cloth. If you're using an air pad instead of that underquilt for the hammock, then you're going to use the air mattress to go to ground also on the tent. So again, you're going to use the same tarp for both. So basically the same stakes to stake down the tarp. So basically, again, having a nice modular system, you could, interchange this, or maybe I want to go and I say, I'm tired of the hammock, there's no place to hang, or maybe the desert, there's less chances to hang than say in the Sierras and Oregon and Washington on the Pacific Crest Trail where there's more trees. So I decide that I want to go with the other one. So, and again, if I want to like mail something back and switch out in a resupply, I know that I'm not going to add any extra weight depending if I go from one system to the other. And it took me a lot of time, and I have a couple hammocks and I have a couple tents. Obviously, I do a lot of hiking, so I like to have a lot of variety and different types of hiking. You're going to take something more robust for car camping or a shorter trip than you are on a through hike. So I like to have different things. Anyway, now all of this too comes down the price. In order to get this low on the hammock system, I had to spend a lot of money that I did not have, and for the tent I didn't. So for the tent here, you're looking at the Ozark Trail 5-foot by 3-foot kids indoor tent. Now I want to mention this is an indoor tent, and it is only 5-foot by 3-foot, but then again, the ultralight Sea to Summit hammock is only 8 feet and it really only fits someone about 5'5" maximum, I feel, comfortably in this hammock. And this stretches out if you do it and lay it in the house and put your air pad in it. I have the 6-foot REI Flash air mattress, and I kind of stick it up on both ends, and I manage to go in with the dog. It's actually a 2-person tent, believe it or not, for me and my Siberian Husky puppy Jake, who's almost 18 months old, and I've managed to stretch this out to 5'5", so I would say it's 5'5" by maybe a little more than 3 feet. I mean, we we both fit in there, and we still have room for the gear as well. This was only $15 at Walmart. Again, $15 for this. This is like about the lightest you're going to go for that price. I mean, if you want to go 1 pound, there's a lot of options out there, but you're going to pay through the nose. Oh, also, I was going to say, this doesn't have mosquito netting, so again, I've made my own little mosquito suit. It only weighs, I think, 4 ounces, and it's something that's actually wearable that I can clip onto myself and wear it while I'm hiking, because I got really bitten by horseflies last year on the PCT. So, and I can clip it with those same clips on here, or I can clip it to my hammock. So again, that's something that's very modular, so I'm not counting the weight, because that's something I would have regardless. Even if I just went it with a bivvy, I'd still have my mosquito suit for hiking. Even if I had nothing to sleep in, I just went for a day hike, I'd probably carry my mosquito suit. So going back here, you know, it doesn't have any mosquito protection, neither does this. Also, you would probably have to spend an extra like $10 to get some seam sealer and some you know, seam spray that I have for it, and I could go over that in another video. So you probably want to seal it, but I'm probably not going to bother, because I have, you know, a really good tarp. I have the $24 Walmart tarp that fits perfectly on either one of these systems. The Hammock Walmart Hammock tarp, they showed it's made by Equip, and it was $24.99. And I also have the $149 Sea to Summit hammock tarp. So you know, the tarp covers everything. I've got a ground cloth underneath. I probably don't need to spray chemicals that probably are known to the state of California, probably caused me cancer. So you know, anyway, that's just an little extra money if you want to seam seal this. Inside here, let me just take this out for a second. You can look at that. So basically, you know, we got the rubber band weight. I just like having that extra rubber band. Let me just put this down. I apologize for 1 second. Let me pull this out. So you can see, here's the stuff sack. Again, you could skip the stuff sack, but you know what? These things rip easy. They're ultralight. I mean, I'd rather have it in a protective sack. I've had things puncture and break, so my poles broke on my other Walmart tent finally, and it's really cheesy. I can set it up in another video. It's got like a little flame in here. I mean, it's very kiddie, so if you want to be made fun of, I don't care. See, let's go camping. Yay! It's got little teepees and stars and trees, pine trees on it, and it's just got these zippers. But anyway, that'll be a whole nother video. Set it up. I put it in this other bag. I didn't come with a bag, and I don't want the stakes to puncture anything or break, because, you know, these are the problem with tents is usually the poles, not the stakes, sorry, the poles. I'm really tired. I've been up all day trying to get all my gear sorted and do a shakedown on myself. But anyway, go back to here. These poles on tents are very specific. So if you break the poles, especially with the Ozark Trail products, they don't tend to make the products. Like, I'll see 1 or 2 of the item and you never see it again at Walmart. So, and their customer service is not the most stellar. So once you break the poles, you're kind of done. So that's why I'm very careful with how I pack my poles. And I also don't want my poles to go through and tear like my ultralight backpack or any of my other gear as well. So that's why I kind of spend that little couple grams to keep it extra protected. That's from a bug tent cover. Okay, so that's the tent. And you know, the tent's pretty easy to set up. It's freestanding, which is really nice. If you want to add stakes, of course the stakes come with the tarp, so I could tarp it and put the stakes for this as well and kind of stake it down, or put just rocks around it, which is what I do a lot of times. Just get some rocks while I'm hiking and shove it in each corner of the tent and call it a day, and it usually stays in place. Very fast to set up, but you do have to slide it through the sleeves, which is kind of a pain. But it's because it's so small, it sets up fast. So let's go through my hammocks setup. This is the you know, the Sea to Summit Ultralight Hammock Single. This was like I think $90 something with tax. It was very expensive. I got it at Venture 16, but they also sell it at REI. I'm sure they sell it on Sea to Summit's site as well, and probably some other places, but that's where I ended up buying it. And not, again, not as comfy as my $15 discount Target Thermarest slacker hammock, but way cheaper. Jake, don't step on anything, please. And then there's just some extra rubber bands. You know, I carry 2 plastic bags for the water breaks. You're going to tie those on the edge of the hammock so if it rains, you don't get all wet. And again, a couple rubber bands. Now, then what I did was I swapped out the heavy carabiners that I had on the slacker hammock, and I went and bought these, and these little babies, they're called Metolius. They come in different colors. I like the you know, the orange. They come in all kinds of red, blue. They're $6, $5.95 I think, or $5.99 a piece. You know, $6 and something with tax. And then just some paracord I got at Walmart. I like the bright colors, so you know, some deer maybe won't like walk into my setup in the middle of the night, or a drunk through hiker. So anyway, if you swap this out, these things are super light. Taking the ones that came from the slacker hammock, I cut my weight in half. So to me, every little bit helps. So that's for my ridgeline, to keep my hammock, you know, at a certain sag. And then part of my weight includes, this is going to be the Tarp Ridgeline, which I want higher than my Ridgeline where I hang my pillow and my other stuff. And then I do carry 1 extra carabiner in case something happens and one breaks, because obviously I can't hang my hand. I mean, I can still tie it up without a carabiner, but I'd rather just have an extra one. It doesn't, because I cut the weight in half, I can carry it. And then I got this really small one, which is half the weight of this one, made by Hammock, who also makes a really ultralight, really cool hammock, and you can see the number on there if you want that one. And I'll use that if I don't want to carry that the gear sling. Again, this is the gear sling to hang your stuff, which actually kind of can be very annoying. I can just use this, and I can clip this to one of the ridge lines and hang, because my backpack, I'm not carrying a lot of stuff, and most of the stuff I have is then going to be my sleep system, and it won't be that heavy. The food bag gets hanged separate away from me. You know, or if I bear canister, it's out somewhere, you know, it's not hanging. So basically I won't have that much stuff. I'm wearing obviously clothes. I only have whatever, maybe the clothes I wore and a few light items, so I can hang that in my backpack and hang that. And remember, the straps I have will hold up to 400 pounds. So between me, even though I'm kind of chubby right now, me and my gear do come nowhere near 400 pounds. So again, the last thing I want to show you is I go with the Eno. Oh, and then yeah, like I said, this was maybe $5 for all this paracord. And when I cut it, it's very important I burn the ends with a lighter so that it doesn't kind of unravel, and just to kind of seal it in place. The straps, I have tried the slacker straps for the Thermarest. I've tried the See the Summit ultralight setup, the tree strap protector straps with the hammock straps. Absolutely hated that. So these are my favorite, the Eno Atlas straps. They're long. You know, they're not extra weight, because if you take the slacker, I mean the See the Summit setup, and you take those tree protectors, and again, these function as tree protectors, so the same exact thing. If you take this and weigh it versus the See the Summit setup, it's pretty much the same, because you only need 1 pair of these straps instead of 2 pairs, and they're nice and long. And see, they have these little loops, so you can just go ahead and, you know, clip your stuff. Now, people make whoopee slings and marlin hitches and stuff. You know what? That's great. This is what I like. I know maybe I could shave more, you know, grams off my system, but, you know, I'm new to hammocking, and this is just what's fast and quick when I'm tired and exhausted. And when I'm tired and exhausted, days in and days out, and I'm cold, I can make, you know, critical mistakes. And if the hammock system fails, I can, you know, fall and injure my already injured back that was run over by a car in 2011. So I want just this thing. I know it's tough. I know it's strong. It's you know, Eno is a great company, and I know that these puppies are going to hold me up and be secure and not fail. And if one, you know, part fails, I've got what, like 30 of these loops on here, so another one won't. And as far as these straps go, for me being about 5'4", 4. 6 wide, 5 to 6 wide paces is a perfect length between trees that to hang, and these are nice because they wrap around the tree perfectly, even fat trees. And I find that the tree protector straps for the Cedar Summit does not go around fat trees at all. Yes, I learned that the other day at the local park. That was just a nightmare, and they sag for some reason, and these things don't sag at all, so I like these things. So anyway, pick your poison, either a tent or a hammock, but you can go if you're a short person that's 5'5" or under. These are 2 really nice ultralight setups, and you know something you could do too, if you know, you have maybe 2 people, is one could take the tent, one could take the hammock, and you could you know, split the weight. And of course, 2 people, only one person can fit in the hammock. You can cram 2 people into this tent, but you know, maybe you could swap off. If one wants the hammock one night, one wants the tent, you want to, you know, split it, just have those options available for yourself. Anyway, that's it, and it's Phoenix Genesis, and it's a countdown to my trip. Hi everyone, and once again, I'll see you on the trail.